Like most things, there are a lot of different material symbols used on drawings. But fortunately, you're going to be able to find out what they are through legends and stuff on the drawing. The key is look on the same page like before with abbreviations, or look on adjacent pages, but it'll probably be there. You do want to avoid switching disciplines. You don't want to be on a plumbing plan, see a symbol, and go to the electrical plan to find out what it is. Doesn't usually work that way. Stay within plumbing for plumbing symbols, and electrical for electrical symbols, and so on. And the symbols that are used don't often appear again on other drawings. What I mean by that is you may have on a plan view a symbol on a wall to indicate an outlet. When you look at the elevation of that same wall, you probably won't see the outlet. So they don't replicate that everywhere. It's usually on just that one view. And you're not going to find much information in the specifications when it comes to symbology. All the legends and what you're looking for is generally on the drawing itself. Now here's an example of all the different material symbologies based upon the National CAD standard. So this is what they're supposed to use. Doesn't always happen that way. When we look at a detail from our drawing, the veterinary center, well, we can look at what's being used in those walls, and we can see that it kind of matches the brick, so we can assume that maybe that's brick. Well, I wouldn't go by that material symbology. I would actually look for the details within the drawings themselves. And how do you do this? Well, let's take a drawing and find out. So on drawing A 2.0, if we look in this area and zoom in, we see a couple walls. We want to find out what's in these walls. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at different ways we can find out what's in these walls. There's a few ways that we can see right here. We have this thing cutting through the wall, happens to be called a partition type. We have this, it happens to be called a section, so it's cutting through the wall. And then we have this, it's a detail. So within this small area, we have a partition type, a section, and a detail. So let's look at the partition type. When we look at it, it has this nice long description telling us exactly what's in the wall. So now we know. We don't have to go any further. What about this partition type? It's different. The first one was the letter M, and this one's the letter I, so therefore it must be different. Well, we look at that partition, we can see that it has a different material in the wall. So it's not enough to actually just look at the cross-hatching and determine, did the architect use the cross-hatching right to select the right material? You actually have to look at the details in the drawings. Now there's a different type of symbology, and that's for all the fixtures and different things in the drawing itself. For example, when we go to drawing A 2.0 again and zoom in on a different area, and we blow it up. So in this area, you can probably guess what these symbols are for. I hope you guessed toilet. Just like you can probably guess what this symbol is for. And I hope you guessed door. See, some of these are really obvious. You're not going to have to think too much about them. Sometimes they're a little less obvious. What's this symbol for? This one in the wall. What's going on here? So you may have guessed door or window. It's really hard to tell sometimes if you're not familiar with using drawings. If it were a door, like this one before, it would have a swing to it, but it doesn't have a swing. Therefore, it's probably a window. How about this one down here? If you look at this one, you probably are thinking sink, and you would be right. So how about this one? It looks a little like that sink before, but not exactly like it. It kind of looks like it could be a shower. Well, we need to know exactly what it is. Now it gets tricky, because we are on the architectural drawings. And this happens to be something that we think has to do with plumbing, like a shower or a sink or something. So we probably should jump over to a plumbing plan to see what it really is. When we do that and zoom in on a plumbing plan, we can see that it has a designator next to it. And we understood that this probably means it could be looked up in a legend or schedule on the plumbing plan. So it has MB1. Now you can probably guess what it is just because of the letters MB. You'll find that on a legend. But if you want to know exactly what it is, the manufacturer and everything, where would you look? On a schedule. You're going to find a lot of other obscure symbols on other drawings. If we jump over to the electrical drawing E4, we'll see some of these symbols. So what do you think these are? They're certainly less obvious than, say, a toilet or a door. Well, you can look them up in the legend, and what you're going to find is that these are electrical outlets. What about these symbols that are in the same room? Kind of odd looking. Probably can't just guess off the top of your head. You're going to have to go to the legend. And you go to the legend and you're going to find that these are audio and visual signals for an alarm system. And the last one we'll cover right now is for stairs. I think it's really obvious that these are stairs, with all the lines. But how do you know if the stairs are going up or if the stairs are going down? Well, one of the first indications is which floor are you looking at? If you're on the first floor of a 2-story building, there's only one direction the stairs can go, and you have to figure out how they begin to go up. If you're on the second floor of a 2-story building, well, the stairs can only go down. You just have to figure out where they start down. One of the indications of which is up and which is down are where the hidden lines are. Remember the hidden lines are the light dash lines? You can look at the hidden lines to kind of figure out which is up and which is down. Because as the stairway goes up, eventually it gets past that point at which we cut the floor plan off, right? Because we said we cut a floor plan about 4 feet up the wall. It stairs, it kind of gooses it up a little bit. But as soon as it goes beyond that point, we want hidden lines because we can't see it anymore. Normally hidden lines work where you can't see, behind something. In this case, for stairs, it's above something. Now, if we're on the second floor looking down, there's no cut, right? I mean, we're cutting at 4 feet of the wall. We're looking down the staircase, so we should not see the hidden lines. And when we look at the second floor stairs, we find that we don't see hidden lines. Another thing we can do is see if there's any elevations or sections that show us the stairs. And going through the drawings, and we're going to learn a little bit more about how to navigate through the drawings later, but going through the drawings, we find that there is. There's actually a picture of this staircase, which gives us a clear indication of how this staircase works and how it lines up with the plan.